Hello, thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. And today we're going to be looking at linear inequalities and the number line. So what we're going to do is graph some two-step linear inequalities and graph them on the number line. So let's begin. All right, so we've got, it says here to solve the inequality and then graph the solution on the line provided. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just write over here on the side here, 3x minus 7 greater than negative 19. And if you forget what's greater than or what's less than, you could just click right here or look on your notes and see what is greater than or less than. Okay. All right. So I'm going to solve it just like a regular equation, except it's an inequality. So I'm going to isolate the variable, which is x, and I'm going to always do the opposite. So the opposite of minus 7 is plus 7 on both sides. Okay. Then I'm going to bring down the 3x, cancel that out, greater than. Different signs, find the difference. Negative 19 plus a positive 7 is going to be negative 12. Okay. Now, one of the differences between an equation and a inequality is sometimes when you divide, well, all the time when you divide by a negative, you got to swap the inequality around. Okay, so let's take a look at this example here. We're dividing by positive 3. Positive 3. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you swap the inequality. But here we are dividing by positive 3, so we leave it alone. And we're going to be left with x is greater than negative divided by a positive, which is negative, 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Okay, so then I'm going to write that in over here. X is greater than negative 4. And then I'm going to zoom in so you see the number line better. I'm going to go to negative 4 here and make a circle. And since it is open, greater than, in an open circle, then I'm going to leave it open and go up. Another way to remember that is that the arrow points the same way as the inequality. And that works if your variable is on the left side. Okay, so that's one example. All right, go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can solve this one. All right, let's take a look at this example. All right, here I have 4 minus 2x is less than or equal to 0. 4 minus 2x is less than or equal to 0. So I'm still going to isolate the x. So I'm going to work away from the x first and do the opposite than a positive 4. And the opposite of a positive 4 is minus 4. And do it on both sides. Okay, so my 4's cancel out. I bring down my negative 2x. Still trying to isolate the x. Okay, I have less than or equal to 0 plus a negative 4, which is negative 4. Okay, in isolating that x, I'm going to divide that 2 from it. Opposite of multiplication is division. So I divide by negative 2 on both sides. Now here is where it's different. If you're dividing by a negative, you have to swap the inequality around. So I'm just going to change the direction of the inequality. So my 2's cancel out. I bring down an x. Instead of being less than or equal to, it's greater than or equal to. You just got to remember to swap the inequality when you divide by a negative or multiply. And now I have a negative divided by a negative, which is positive, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now I have x is greater than or equal to 2. So I have greater than or equal to, and I can just look right here and see greater than or equal to right here, right? And then I know I'm going to fill in the circle and shade up in the up direction. So I'm going to fill in the circle I'm going to make a circle, fill it in, and graph it up like so. That's pretty much it. All right, let's take a look at one more example. All right, go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can solve this one. Okay, so on this one, you should get x is less than -5. X is less than -5. So first, I'm going to go ahead and put my -8x plus 4 greater than 44 over the side so I can work it out. I do the opposite of adding 4, subtract 4. Bring down my -8x greater than 40. I do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I divide by -8. And since I divide by a negative, that's going to make me swap my inequality sign around. Okay, so I cancel out the 8, bring down the x. Positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 40 divided by 8 is 5. Remember, it's not whether you divide into a negative, it's not whether you get a negative, it's if you divide by a negative. You need to have that negative on both parts of your division there, and that's how you know to swap the sign. So then I end up with x is less than -5. And now I'm going to zoom in here so I can graph it. Okay. And I'm going to spot that -5 right in between -4 and -6. Right? All right. I'm going to make a circle. Okay. It's less than, so I'm going to shade up. Right? And remember that. Less than, so I'm going to shade up. And notice that the circle is open. So I leave it open. And that's it. Now, that is linear inequality in a number line, level 2 on Delta Math. I want to thank you for checking out Mr. Ware's videos. Have a nice day.